Welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show we talk to independent artists from all around the world all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with musician Levi Evans. Without any further ado, here's the interview. Well, Levi, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we're getting ready for you to perform at Cat's Cradle. I know we've caught up a little bit just kind of like getting ready for this. Like, if you had to summarize like the last, maybe 2 years, and obviously we're going to go a little deeper into it as we go into the interview, like what you been up to, man?
I mean, it's just been nonstop, with leading up to this project that I'm coming up with, and just kind of, nonstop dropping music and coming up with concepts for music videos. I mean, it's, I love it, and it's just nonstop, yeah.
Last time we talked, you only had like 2 songs out, and You Catch Me was like my jam for a long time. I absolutely love that. This new EP that you just put out, it has like this just kind of newfound energy, and it's very much more forward than your older stuff, which, I mean, it's still very much you, but it just feels like you have this kind of new energy. It just feels like a natural evolution of your music. How would you describe your artistic development and maybe like your personal development and tying that into your songwriting?
Yeah, I think, when I was younger, I made a lot of like harder and like heavy hitting beats that were like more hip hop based, and then as I kind of started singing more, I think I slowed down like a lot, and like so like Catch Me and Back in My Head Again were very kind of mellow, and then I started playing stuff more live, and then realized especially grabbing the audience's attention, it's like you gotta have something that's just like like that grabs their attention, energetic, so I think I wrote a bunch of kind of more slow ballady songs, and then was kind of like I want to turn it up a notch with the energy. So that's kind of where I've been at, in my production right now. Yeah.
Another thing that I really love about like your new sound and like just your new sort of like branding as a whole is your music videos. Your music videos have such like striking images. I mean, it's always like you in like some sort of crazy situation, like you in a suit in a pool, like getting tied up with kisses all over you. From what I understand, you actually like got into the director's chair for this for the first time. Like, explain that to me. Like, do you feel like your process as a songwriter kind of helped you in that world?
Yeah, I think for a while when I first started making music, we hired different directors and stuff, or I hired different directors and stuff. And I think eventually, because I am a creative, and I think and I'm also very controlling, so I like mix and I produce a lot, and so I think the visual part of that was also something that I didn't have the confidence for when I first started out. But then as I kind of grew that more, I kind of started coming up with these ideas, and I was like, no, I want it to be like this. So then Talk About It, Chronic, all those, So Happy, like I kind of came up with the concepts and came up with the visuals. Yeah. Yeah,
you just wanted to play volleyball in that time.
Yeah.
And just be honest. Let's just be honest. I think a lot of people really take for granted how much work actually goes into the music video side of this. What's something that people don't really expect when they do like the indie music video, like just from a director standpoint?
One thing that I always forget is just the details, making sure you have everything for like how you're going to hang up, in Chronic, there was like that big target that I like printed out, and like got all that. But then when it came to the shooting, I was like, okay, how are we going to set up this big target? So it's like, there's little things. I think that's the thing that I always kind of would forget is like, okay, how are you going to make the, the things work? Or, it's kind of the details, or even with So Happy, like how I can wear this mask over my head, and like even like it's simple, but it's like something that when it comes to shoot day, you're like, oh, I forgot. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like scrambling to figure out like, okay, how do we get this up, or like how do we attach this to my head, or like. So I think definitely like the little details that you're like, oh, actually like we need to get this, that, and this, and like be prepared for kind of anything. I'ma leave my hands tied up where my head is at. Tell me anything, I listen on the tonic. Lucy's in the sky, she told me that it's chronic. Oh, someplace to melt. I don't need no one, 'cause nobody else. I'm singing la da 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 la da dee da. Oh, get it out of your skull. Fight with feeling till the feeling goes numb. Can we talk about it? Can we just talk about it?
Some of my favorite stuff that you've done is the more kind of stripped back, vulnerable stuff. and obviously you have, you know, like Chronic talk about it, like all this kind of stuff that's like really high energy, really in your face, you know, really just fun music. But one of my favorite recent songs of yours is Faith. Lyrically, I think it's one of your strongest songs. What was going through your head when you wrote that?
So, funnily enough, I was actually severely hungover when I wrote Faith. So I had some friends who were staying with me from Dublin because they were just visiting for the first time, and we were staying in my house, and we had just gone out, and I kind of woke up in the morning like pretty hungover, and I grabbed a guitar and started playing the chords to Faith, and then sort of the lyrics just came, and it kind of just came out of nowhere, which was pretty kind of funny because it's like such a sensitive song. It's such a, you know, and then it kind of came from this place where I was just like really hungover. But yeah, I think Faith definitely like it is lyrically one of my favorite songs as well. Yeah.
When people listen to your music, especially like the new stuff, like what do you want them to kind of take away from it?
Lyrics and lyricism and sort of that's very important to me, you know, and also just being able to have their own take on it. You know, I think like, because, you know, when I write lyrics, you know, I tend not to think so much. And then it kind of, it's only until after the song is sort of recorded where I'm like, whoa, like that's what I was talking about. So I think for me, what's important to me is like for my songs to have that sort of room for people to be like, what is he talking about? And then kind of coming up with their own things. Because I know when I write things like what it means, but it's also kind of vague. And I kind of like that, you know?
What can people expect for the future of Levi Evans? Like, what do you have in store for everybody?
Well, we got this tour, and then hopefully, you know, after this, I could do an opener slot, and then hopefully we get, you know, my main actual tour. That would be, or not opener, sorry, my main support, and then hopefully a headlining show. And then actually I have another tour with some people I collaborate with. I'm part of this music collective called No Fun, and we're actually opening up for Atmosphere in November for their West Coast tour, and I think we're going to Vancouver too. But yeah, so I guess you can see me on the road here. You can see me on the road with the guys, No Fun. Yeah.
Where can people keep up with you online?
Instagram, Levi Evans, TikTok as well, Levi Evans Music, Spotify, all the streaming platforms. I'm dropping all the time, so it's a good place to keep out. Yeah.
For the people that kind of watch these interviews, like they know I always end with like a what's your favorite movie question. You've done one of these before, so I don't want to ask you that again. So I'm going to switch it up. It's kind of a crazy concept. So instead of a favorite movie, I want to ask, what is your favorite song?
Favorite song, man, that's crazy. There's an acoustic song called Cyclone by Sticky Fingers. It's just really great, and the lyrics are great, and it's just two dudes with a guitar, you know, with guitars. It's just a good song, yeah.
Thanks to Levi for sitting down with us and talking all about his music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can find us online at Studio 67 NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.